This is a topic that we all have to face at one point or another in our lives, from someone who's passed on, or it's our own passing, and that's death. Welcome back to my channel. I'm ToyaRenee. This is ToyaRenee Talks. If you're new around here, welcome. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate all of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules and whatever you have going on to just listen to me and what I have to say and my opinions on this topic. So, as you can tell by the title, this is basically about how do you feel about death? And that's a really dark topic, I know, but I feel like it's something that should be talked about more in society. I feel like it's something that should be brought up because it is a part of life and we're all going to have to face it at one point or another. So let's dig into this topic right now. My very first point that I want to ask you guys is, are you afraid of death? Do you feel any type of fear when you think about how it's going to come to you or when it's going to come to you, or a combination of both even? I know for me, I'm not that afraid of it as I am worried about leaving the people that I love behind. I often pray that once it's my time to pass on, that I can somehow be in contact with my family still, like not like pulling their legs or something when they're sleeping, like that's totally creepy, but like just like I can still watch over them and be able to protect them and tell them things that they need to know before it happens. Some way that I can still be in communication with them. I'd really appreciate if God allows me to do that, but I'm not in control of that, so I don't know if that's a possibility. Going back to my question is, if you're afraid of death, my question to you also would be, why are you afraid of death? What about it scares you? I know for a lot of people, it's the unknown of not knowing when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen or why it even has to happen in the first place. The Bible's perspective, it talks about death coming because of us being sinners. And don't get me wrong, I'm definitely a sinner. Like, I am not holier than thou, anything like that, nada. But because I believe, and this is my opinion, that I am saved through the grace and mercy and salvation of Jesus Christ, I don't believe that I am going to die. Now, that doesn't mean that, of course, in the natural world, yes, I'm going to pass away. But what I mean is, I have the gift of eternal life because, not by my own doings, but because of God's grace to me. And so that being said, to answer my own question, I'm not afraid of death because I know on the other side that there's another life behind it. My opinion. My second question to you guys is, do you welcome it at all? Do you feel like it's just a part of life, it's gonna come one way or the other, so I'm just gonna accept it and that's just what it's gonna be? Or do you try to be like, well, YOLO, live once, you only live once, and still accept it, but kind of live life on your own terms? And how do you feel like about that? Do you welcome it at all? I'm really curious because I know different people go through different things. People feel different ways. Some people are religious, some people are not religious. Some people believe we've been here before. Some people believe that, like, I've even heard stories of people saying their children chose them before they were conceived. And children have talked about saying that I chose you to be my mom, my dad, or whatever the case may be. That's a whole nother topic, but like the supernatural and just death in general, I feel is just so mysterious that I wonder how people feel about it while it's on the way to them. Like, even in the last few minutes of their life on Earth, do they think about, are they ready to welcome death at its door? And so all of this stuff, I wonder as a human being. I know I'm not alone in wondering these things, but I'm just curious, like, what do you guys feel about that? For me, I don't like welcome it with open arms, like, come on, death, let's have a party. But like, I definitely don't deny it, and I have accepted that it's going to happen to me, and that I'm going to continue to live on in the next life, hopefully in paradise. Like, that's the goal. So yeah. And that leads me to my next question. Do you believe in an afterlife? Do you believe we were here before? Do you believe that there's something that's beyond just us? For a while, I have to admit, guys and girls, I questioned my faith. I was like, if God is so good and all these things are excellent and he's so wonderful, why do things like 9/11 happen? Why do things like famine and natural disasters and the coronavirus, why does this happen if God is so good and if he even exists? Those are things that I would have questioned in the past, if like the coronavirus is in the past, and things that I used to question back in the day. But I found that his ways are above our ways. His thoughts are above our thoughts. So we don't understand everything. We don't know everything. And for me to put myself in that position to say, well, why is this? Why is that? If you're so good, why are you doing this? And if you even exist, why are you letting this happen? Who am I to say that? I'm just a human being. I don't know everything. So when it comes to death, I feel like I can only go off of what I believe in and what I've been experiencing in my own life. As far as people who have passed away and ghosts and things like that, I have to say I believe in ghosts, because I've seen things in my own life. If you want to hear about my experiences and experiences of people that I've known or that I know, yeah, there have been ghost-like experiences and things that have happened that I don't know how they happened, and it's totally out of my control. I'll give one example. So in previous videos, I've talked about how my dad passed away in early December of 2014. One day when we were about to go to his, I think it was his viewing of his body before we would say our final goodbyes, we had to go back to the house for something before we went to the viewing. And my sister T did not reach the house at that point, but someone at the house heard her call out their name, and they said, Toya, sister T is here, so we should get ready faster to go to the viewing. My sister finally arrived at the house a few minutes later, and she was like, oh, you guys are ready already, or something along those lines. And they were like, yeah, we heard you call us. And she said, I just got here. And when I heard about that story, I was creeped out. But that just goes to show that we don't know what the supernatural realm is doing. We don't know what's going on in that world. And I believe, and this is from the core and the bottom of my heart, that there is more to this life than what we can see and feel. And I think that it shows and reveals ourselves, whatever it is, God or the universe, if you want to call it that, or whatever, it reveals itself in different ways if we just pay attention. So, but going back to my main point, I believe there is an afterlife. I believe we pass on to a better place than this one. And I believe we see the ones who have passed on already, and we get to know what they're experiencing now, and that they are still with us. Maybe not physically, but emotionally, and we can feel them, and we can see the signs that they're with us if we just continue to pay attention. Lastly, I'm going to share this Bible verse, and I'll insert it right here. Information was shared about death, and I'm really interested to know what you guys feel about it. So if you want to answer any of my questions or have any comments of your own regarding this very tricky, very sensitive topic, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. like and subscribe to my channel as well if you like what you see in here, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, when you subscribe, make sure to hit that little bell so that you will be notified of when the next video posts. I love you guys so much. I really do appreciate all of you, and I hope you are safe and healthy and that you take care. All right, see you next time. Bye.